The music has started. Delicious sausages. Okay, folks, we're going to play an absolute classic of puzzle games, Stephen's Sausage Roll. What a wonderful game. Recently, it was its 10th birthday. It's been out for 10 years. Oh, look, I think that's a complete save file. Is that complete? I can't remember what the total number is. Then we've got one that's almost complete. I don't know why. Let's jump into Mustard. I'm sure most folks here know about Stephen's Sausage Roll. I don't think I've ever played it on stream or video or whatever, because I would have played it before I started doing any streaming and Let's Playing. But such a good game. And is a big reason I got into the Thinky Games community before it was before thinkygames.com existed and all that kind of stuff. This game was a big reason for that. It's like this game, The Witness, A Good Snowman's Hard to Build, Cosmic Express, Snakebird, all those games that came out around like 10 years ago. Awesome bunch of games, and yeah, they got me into this space. So this is Stephen's Sausage Roll. It's a sokoban game, as you can probably tell, and you move by, you've got this character that kind of has tank controls, so you press left now, you turn like that. If you press up, we turn like that. If we want to read these signs, you have to stand next to them. You can't like walk up to them because your fork's in the way. So you have to stand next to it and then you can read it. Arrow keys to move, Z to undo, R to restart. Let's read this one. Welcome to the Island of Wisdom. And yeah, let's jump to a puzzle. So we jump to these things. Infant's break. Okay, so the goal of these puzzles, if you don't know about it, is to cook these sausages. This is a good one for learning about like grill patterns. So when you push a sausage onto a thing, it gets grilled on one side. You can see it's got slightly darker underneath. I could then push it over, but it goes into the water, and you could see the grilled side there. The goal of each puzzle is to grill both all of the sausages in the puzzle, if there's more than two, on both sides evenly, and not burn them, because if you cook them more than once, they'll get burnt. So here, I know that based on what we're seeing here, the vertical sausage has to be cooked on the left grill and the horizontal sausage has to be cooked on the right grill. And this is like, when I played Stephen's Sausage Roll for the first time, I 100% wouldn't have approached it like that. But I've now, after Stephen's Sausage Roll introduced me to this kind of puzzle solving, after all this time of playing loads of puzzle games, I now am approaching it in a completely different way. But yeah, I can logically realize that there's no way to get that horizontal sausage onto that left grill without burning one segment of it twice. So it must be the vertical one that goes across there, and the horizontal one can get onto that other grill for a reason we'll see in a second. And because we can stick out over the water, you can actually bring things back away from the edge, which is an interesting aspect of this game. Is this solvable from here? I think it is. You can go on there, you're gonna get grilled there and then there. And we can get you out here. So we're going to push you across this grill, and that's fine. Because there's only one of it there. To there, and then we have to get to the exit and leave. Such a good game. It is well known for being quite a difficult game. So these puzzles, this puzzle in particular, is a really hard one at the beginning. But the game starts off hard, and actually I would say it gets easier in the middle. Maybe even the last... kind of like World 4 and World 6 are some of the easier puzzles, I think. Are there 6 worlds? I can't remember how many there are, but I also can't remember the order. But the worlds I'm thinking of are definitely easier. So this one's very tricky. But you have to realize things like, well, if I were to push this way, that sausage is now off the edge of the island, and I'm never getting that back. And obviously, it might take a little while to learn that, but I can't get my fork around the back of that sausage, so it's not coming back. So doing that is definitely a mistake. What is not a mistake? I mean, I guess cooking you a little bit might be fine. And cooking you a little bit might be fine. But then the problem then is if I push you that way, you're going to get burnt on one side and get this screen. So this is definitely a very difficult puzzle. Maybe we begin by cooking you. How do we do this? Well, we could do that, but then again, I think we have a problem with you, right? There's no cooking that sausage anymore. So instead, let's maybe not cook you at all. But we also don't want to lose this. Or the other sausage. Oof. Oof. Even with all the years of experience of sokoban I have, I'm like, oh my god, this is complicated. Because these don't want to go off to the side at all. But if I do this, I'm pretty sure we're stuck as well. Because then I'd nudge that way and that would also get that stuck. Ooh, no, this is a problem for the same reasons before. Yeah, definitely. What if we did this and then bring you... I can't bring you outwards, that's bad. This is definitely like maybe the hardest puzzle in the first section. Oh, we can do this, that's fine. Yes, okay. So these horizontal sausages, they're going to have to be cooked on both the bottom and the top. Am I okay to just do that now or not? If I do it now, what's my way of recovering the sausage on the right? Maybe we don't do that whole thing just yet. We could bring... Again, if we bring this down to this corner, we're going to have problems with cooking it. So we don't want to do that. Yes. Okay. Okay. I think I might be in a stuck position. Because I either, like basically what am I doing with this sausage here? The one at the bottom. I need to bring it back somehow, but that sausage at the top I think is always going to get in the way. I can obviously push this sausage down, which is kind of fine, but I'd have to bring it across like that. It's the same stuck position as we had before. So if we can avoid that, but I don't think we could avoid that, right? That was like the starting move. So we lift that up and then we can slide these this way. Although we could do something with you now. No, we can't. Okay, how do I deal with this sausage? Is that sausage cooked on both sides now? It was, right? It's cooked on the bottom and now we've cooked on the bottom, on its other bottom. So that's cooked on both sides. We're actually fine losing that sausage up there. Okay, this is it. This is how we do this. However, we also need to make sure that, like, because if we do this, you're there. We can't dunk you in the water. That's bad. We've got a lost sausage. And then we've got the problem of, well, I mean, so cooking this sausage is fine. We'll maybe save that for later. But if we put this on the top, how am I going to cook this at this point? Because I can't move this other sausage. And this one can now only be cooked on this side on this grill because of parity reasons, because we're rolling it. Because it rolls onto its other side with each roll. You can think about parity in terms of like, well, the other grill is 3 away. So that grill can only cook one side of these sausages and the other grill can only cook the other side. But we have a problem. So we need to have done something slightly differently, which we will do. So obviously we're going to have the same problem with the other sausage. So do I need to like... It's such a tricky game. And this is definitely the hardest puzzle in the first section, as I've said. Like we could, of course, cook this differently. We could do... Could we though? No, because if we get into one of these corners, that's a problem. Actually, so that is interesting. How do we cook this one on both sides? Because it can't go into a corner like this. Oh, but I can get this back off. I can get this back off here. Of course I can. There we go. It's not too difficult. All right. Okay, we'll do that. So put this up here. Yeah. Whew, it's been a while since I played this game. We'll just get you out of the way. Okay, there we go. And then we cook you. And then we can get out of here. So folks, if you can deal with that, that's as hard as it gets. Maybe. Let's try this one. This one. Oh, it's the one we already did. No, it's not. It's this one. The other one was the one above, of course. Okay, so here the issue is that like if we push them on like this, we can't get them off without... Well, we can get them off if we push this one around. Yeah, there we go. That's the thing here. Except we also need to get you a bit further. In fact, we could just let this one push that one. Ooh, although getting this down is going to cook it a bit. Okay, so we need to actually cook this one like quarter by quarter, I believe. And maybe we should have done another bit earlier. Maybe, although... Maybe, yes. Okay, let's do this one like that, although... We do also... No, let's do this. Cook the bottom part of this one here. Then we're going to lift you up in a second. Yeah, we're going to lift you up now. So as we've just discovered, you can step onto a grill and you'll step back off, and that actually allows you to push stuff because you can step on and push the sausage over. Bring this back this way. I think this gives us the ability to do everything that we wanted to do. Yeah, because we just need to cook this on both sides now. On this one. Oh. And yeah, this was the game that got me into sokoban, believe it or not. Even though it's really difficult, it took me 2 tries to get into it. I started it once, and I don't think I finished the first area, and then I restarted it at some point, because it's like, I've got to play this game. Everybody says it's great, and I got through the first world, and yeah, fell in love with the game. It's such a good game. Finished it, and then when I finished the game, I immediately replayed it. I thought it was that good. I was like, okay, I've got to go back in. And it was really interesting to see how I'd like learned how to solve puzzles in that time. Because like, as I was saying, this is like before I was like really into puzzle games. It was like at the beginning of me getting into them. Fiery Jut. So here, if we like push them along, the problem's going to be that the second sausage gets burnt. So we're going to have to split them apart. And I believe there's some way of... Yeah, so we're going to lower you down to there, and then we're going to lift this one back up to the top section. Then we just push them both separately. Some of the puzzles are not too difficult. And there was a thread on... Because we've just done an article about Stephen Sausage Roll on the Thinky Games website, about it being the 10th anniversary of the game. Oh, and the article was posted to Reddit today. Somebody posted it there, and there were comments, and I've left a comment on there kind of explaining why I think like Stephen Sausage Roll, because there's somebody saying like, oh, it's just like classic sokoban games, like they're all just the same. I was like, it's not just the same. And I'd also say that modern sokoban is not the same as classic sokoban from like the 90s, like early 2000s. Or like I guess 80s for the original sokoban game. There is like a fundamental difference to them, and one of the things that I think is like really different is that these puzzles focus a lot more on the deductive process of solving a puzzle. It's less about like individual moves, and like I think classic sokoban feels more like a maze. It's like you've got a big puzzle and there's a lot of space to navigate around and push these boxes around in like really awkward positions and whatever. But modern sokoban focuses more on like tighter spaces, or not necessarily always tight in like it's hard to move around, but like more focused on like some kind of core idea, like a more like a higher level or more abstract idea that the puzzle wants you to figure out. There'll be some problem that you have to, you'll go into a puzzle, like for example this one, and you'll encounter a problem. The problem here is, oh, it's very moody in this puzzle, is that these grills are in the middle over the water. How do we get a sausage over the water? And there we go. We've got a higher, more abstract idea that we have to deal with. And then it's about, okay, but how can we deal with that? Like, how can the sausage even get to them? Because like the gap is like it's too wide, right? Except it's not if I bring it all the way down here. We can then cross this bit, and then we can push you onto here. And then can we push you along? We can. And so we're also learning some interesting techniques of like, we can like nudge it along even though we can't actually get next to the sausage. And I think that's like a big thing that distinguishes like modern sokoban from classic for me. It's like, it's more focused on that. And also, I guess another key thing is that because it's like less focused on like individual moves and navigating like more of a maze-like structure, things like restart, undo, it's like not a problem to press undo as much as you like and restart as much as you like. In those classic games, often they'd be slow or they'd be limited or whatever. Here it's just like, no, you just use undo the same way you use every other key. Use restart the same way you use every other key. It's just a tool for exploring the puzzle. I think that's something I think about as like, that's a modern sokoban thing as opposed to a classic sokoban thing. Okay, so here, what's our trouble? Our trouble is Like, what's the problem here? The problem isn't like, how do I get a bunch of boxes to these specific places? It's more specific than that. The problem is there's a couple of grills here that I could push the thing onto, but then I have no way of getting that away from there. Also, another problem is, this is the kind of deductions you want to be making in these kinds of puzzles, is that, okay, so parity-wise, this grill can only cook this side of the sausage that we just cooked. This grill can only cook this side of the sausage. So this side of the sausage has to get cooked on this grill on the right, but to cook the bottom half, we'd have to push the sausage out, and therefore the sausage isn't retrievable. So at this point, we know that we're never using like this bit of grill again. However, we could be using that grill, and that's the key thing to realize here. So we are going to cook the top half of this side down here, bring it over here, push it over this grill, up, and then bring it across and use the other side of this. And we're done. It's fine for it to be irretrievable when it's cooked. Such a good game. I also just love the like vibe of this game. It's like, I've not really seen anything quite... There's like other games that have gone a similar direction, like Islands, and there's water around it, and kind of this weird blocky style where the blocks are not all like even with each other. Like, I guess the games I'm thinking of are like A Monster Expedition, Pipe Push Paradise. I mean, they don't do all the same things, but like An Architect's Adventure, yeah, a whole bunch of things. But yeah, there's a certain thing about the vibe of this game which is really cool. Merchant's Elegy. Okay. So this is a problem for this sausage, right? No, it's not, because I could bring it back off here. Of course I can. So what is the problem going to be here? Again, we have parity. One of these grills can only cook one side of the sausage. The other grill can only cook the other side. So... now the trouble is, to get these sausages around each other, they'd have to get pushed out. That is the trouble. Yet, a sausage does need to go left and right. So interesting. Interesting. So I wonder if we're doing like half grills again. Because like if we push this out here, this is not retrievable again, so we're never going to cook the other side of it. But also, if we like push a thing down here and push it onto here, we're not getting it back either. So that is making me think. It's making me think. That's a good sign. That is interesting. Doesn't that mean... So basically, because if we cook something on here, the other two positions would get the sausage stuck. I'm just going to ignore this sausage for now. Let's push you out of the way. So we have to bring you back after that. And of course we can then cook you on here, but the other one needs to be out of the way, but it can't be out of the way up here unless it's already fully cooked. So how does one do that? But then that one would also have to get here. How can that happen? Oh, no, I think we're learning something else here, aren't we? Wait, are we? No, that does just roll in the same way. So yeah, it's how do I get... Well, I mean, I guess I can cook you on here, then get you out of the way. That's maybe the idea, but not the way I've done it. Or maybe the way I've done it. Yes, the way I've done it. You can come over here. You're now cooked. I can get you out of the way. Not the way I've done it, because I can't get this past here again. So tricky puzzles. I guess it's also, yeah, it's absolutely feasible to cook both halves of this separately, and in the process get this past you. Yes, that's what we're doing. We're doing like this. Ooh, maybe I'm missing a step here. Hold on, do I need to bring this across a bit? But then I can't get past you. So no, this one surely has to move first. But then what? I could lift you up. But I was hoping to get to the other one. Maybe I still can? I mean, I still need to cook the other side of you. So we could do that. And then... get down here. This is feeling not right. What's the move I need to do? That's still retrievable, so I could do this. Yes. Cook you. Oh, you're already cooked on that side, sorry. Wait, so I actually want to take you the other way. You're already cooked on that side, so I want to cook you on the other one. Oh, so taking you back there is definitely bad. Okay. Right, of course it is. So you never want to go back there. I guess I can bring you back this way here. Is that useful? I'm going to get you to that side, but while also getting the other one. Another very tricky one. I mean, I guess, you can be cooked on both halves again, but like, then we can't get around the back of them. So I'm pretty sure I've done something wrong already. Maybe. Because I can't see a way that I would like, get you out. Or is there a way? That looks right. How would I get you past you without making you irretrievable? Sometimes it can be tricky just to see the move that you can do. Once again, I can't push you onto this corner because then I can't do anything with you. Oh, right, because we can... Yeah, okay, we can do the same thing and get you, like, over here. Lift you up, push you that... lift you up, push you that way. There we go. That's the kind of move we needed. Neat. There we go. Okay. Okay, we won't play too much more, although it would be good to... I don't think I can show the next area, can I, until I've done all the puzzles here. So this is like the first world, and we can see that like over here there's like other islands to get to. And learned people cast great shadows. A classic quote. But there's a bridge here that we can't cross, and you'll notice there's also a ladder. Ladders, interesting. So yeah, one of the really cool things this game does is like, it has very few mechanics. There's like the grills, there's the sausages, the ladders. I guess we can see over there there's fences. There's not that much more than that. In fact, that might be everything. But like, there's a lot of interesting stuff that comes out of it. A lot of moments where you're like, oh my god, there's like, I can do that kind of thing. I like how when you're reading this, you're casting a great shadow on the floor. Oh. It's pretty neat. Let's do one more. Yeah, I was going to say Clover's a really good one to show. Is it this one? Yes, it's this one. Yeah, I also love this puzzle. It's a great example of what this game does. So like, well, we want to cook these sausages. And they're all next to these grills, which make it really easy to cook them. So well, I guess we'll just cook them. This is fine, right? What an easy, simple puzzle. Oh, and then we just leave. But wait! I can't leave without burning a sausage! So the trick here is like, oh my gosh, how do I get to the end? Like, there's genuinely no way of getting to the end from this. So, we gotta do things differently. Is it a case of... I'm trying to remember how this works. Do these two sausages... Maybe they do just get cooked normally. Is this one that I feel has the most like freedom for doing other stuff? We could even push you up, push you down, back across this way, and then cook the other half of you. But then can I actually get you anywhere that would be out of the way? I don't remember the answer, but we'll figure it out. I mean, could I have done it the other way around? Where did he start? He started there. And that's why undo through restart is best. So if we, hold on, so if I bring you down, push you across, could I have left, like, because I could in theory just cook this now, or cook this now, but that feels bad. Well, I can't cook this now because you're going to get burnt. But then what if you weren't there? Okay, hold on. Actually, there's nothing else I could do with this, right? So that one is stuck, and I think the other one's stuck as well. So there's some way to deal with this and get you out of the way. How would I, once I push you across these grills, how would I do anything with you? I guess I'd push you that way. So like, yeah, we could do this. Bring you back. Let's experiment with this a little bit. Get you here, then I can click on this. But problems. Could I have left anything else uncooked that would help me? I mean, what if I hadn't cooked any at the bottom? I could push it even further, but that feels worse because it's going to go on the exit at that point. So it's also not feasible for me to have brought this down earlier, right? Because I can bring it down, bring it here. Oh, yes, that is potentially useful. Potentially. I could also lower this. Oh gosh. Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay. So this would be the top section. Do I cook one bit of the... Do I cook one? Maybe I don't cook any of the... Okay, let's keep experimenting. Let's do this. No, not that. Let's do... This. I guess then we could put you down there and actually cook you on this one. That's what we do, I think. Does that work though? Yes, that might work. That should work. Okay, bring you up here. You here, do this, do this. We're going to cook you now. Put you there. Bring this around without using the bottom of this and actually use the bottom of the other grill. And then we can leave. Yay! It's such a cool puzzle. I guess the other thing that's worth saying about this game is that this first world, I already said it's like maybe one of the hardest parts of the game. But also it's the most, like of all the sections in the game, it's the most like constrained. Like the puzzles are very like tight spaces where you're doing a lot of like puzzles to do with like the maneuvering of the fork and like rotating things out of the way and making sure they don't get lost. I think because the game is really trying to teach you at this point like just how to use your fork and how to think about like the sausages from a more abstract perspective of like what positions can they be in where they're stuck, what positions can they be in where they're not stuck, etc. And the first world is really trying to get you to understand that, and then you get into the later worlds, and like, I mean, we can look over here, like, which is the puzzle that I'm thinking of? Like, you can see there's an entrance to a puzzle there that's just like on a bridge. There's a lot of puzzles in this like second world which are like much more open spaces, like over there on the left. There's gonna be a few sausages there, but like a more open space. And there are some later on that are like literally big open space with a grill and a sausage, and then you're kind of left to just like use the mechanics to figure out how you can cook that sausage. It's not about not at all about like awkwardly pushing sausages through spaces. What a sentence! Awkwardly pushing sausages through spaces. There's a good video on YouTube which I was partly a bit jealous of when it came out. It's a state space. It's like a video about the state space of Lachrymose head, which is the one we did down here. I was slightly jealous of it because I had also like probably like 8 years ago written a program to, I mean, I didn't make it look nearly as cool as they made it look, but I had written a thing to like generate the state graph of Lachrymose head, specifically the same puzzle. I think it's an interesting puzzle to do that with because it's so small, yet there are so many like finding the right moves through it. There's so many like tight bottlenecks through the state space. yeah, it's an interesting puzzle for that purpose. I mean, if you're also interested in other kind of sokoban state space analysis videos, there's a great talk from ThinkyCon, the first ThinkyCon that we did. There's a talk called, is it called The Beautiful State Space of Microban 1 or something like that? Or the something state space of Microban 1 by Connector, and it's a really good video, and it's about the state space of Microban 1, of course. Anyway, cool. We'll leave it there. But yeah, I wanted to come back to Steven Sausage Roll because it's got a dear place in my heart, and it was part of the reason I got into thinking games in the first place. It made me learn how like interesting sokoban can be, and like I guess generally like discrete puzzle games. This game and a bunch of other games around the time basically changed my life, and that was my job, to talk about puzzle games and play puzzle games. It's a pretty amazing thing. I highly recommend it. Even if you're like, oh, maybe I should start with an easier one. I don't know. This game got me into the genre, so I guess it can work if you're very patient and willing to persevere. I think this could be the game that could get you into it. But if not, then I'd recommend something that's a bit easier at the start, like a Monsters Expedition, Pipe Bush Paradise, although that gets pretty tricky quite quickly. I think a Monsters Expedition is probably the best one to start with if you want a more gradual experience, because it's also the difficulty curve is very smooth. Patrick's Parabox would be a good suggestion as well for a simpler one. And I guess this is our second video about Steven Sausage Roll, because Joel, who was our streamer in the before times, did a 12 games I love series, and Steven Sausage Roll was one of them. So please go check that out as well. Babba's You as well. So the interesting thing about Babba's You is I've heard some people say that they don't consider it a sokoban game, which is funny because like I think to anybody that like thinks a lot about like the various subgenres of puzzle games, you're like, well, it's obviously a sokoban game. It's grid based, it's turn based. You're pushing blocks around on a grid, and I think the reason people don't think of it as one though is because the puzzles are so not focused on the pushing blocks around. The puzzles are so focused on like changing rules, and I say that like clearly is like somewhere in the middle. Like some of the puzzles are more focused around like blocks and their positioning or whatever, but that gives it a different feel. It's not doesn't feel quite sokoban-y, even though mechanically it is. But also, yeah, Babba is very hard. I think getting to the like ending in Babba's You is quite like early on, and it's doable, although I think a lot of people drop off before they get to the ending, as in they stop playing the game, they die. Babba's You is very difficult too, but has a very approachable start, and the mechanic is very approachable, so it could be a good one to start with as well. Okay, cool. That was Steven Sausage Roll, a classic, a brilliant game. If you have not played it, please play it. It's excellent. All right,